From weathered back roads to the blazing edge of faith, this is where grit meets grace. Welcome to the place where truth ain't tame and stories burn brighter than the flame. This is the Gunpowder, Propane and Jesus podcast. Real talk, real calling, no polish, just purpose. Let's light it up.
Immediately wrong buttons.
Good morning. We have a new soundboard operator this morning. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There's the claps. Tell those people to quiet down out there.
Everybody calm down. We got a show to do in here.
That's right.
There we go. That's Jordan on the controls in here today.
Running the show, Mr. J.O.
Yeah, don't get paid enough for this, that's for sure.
Man, it ain't but four buttons and you already screwed it up. Four buttons and you already screwed it up.
We got us a special guest this morning, Mr. Daniel Montana.
Hey,
you're supposed to do the clap.
Hold on.
He's suffering from a little hernia today.
Put the mic in your mouth, and when I call you out this time, you're going to be excited to be here, all right? We got a special guest, Daniel Montana. What's going on, Dan?
Oh, not much. Bruh. No, thank you. Hey, it's my
he's nervous.
Dan is nervous.
I'm so privileged to be here. Thank you.
You are.
He is visibly shaking.
He looks so uncomfortable.
He looks so uncomfortable as they come.
Yeah.
Hey man, loosen that seat up from your butt.
I mean, he acts like he knows some of our past in here or something.
I know, man. What you so nervous about, man?
I don't know. I'm trying not to be.
He is sweating.
I feel like I need to shine a light in his face and ask him questions.
It's Donnie over there that's making me nervous.
Donnie?
Have you been drinking today, sir?
Hey, listen, I ain't had one of them in like 8 years.
8? Just
no,
8?
actually longer now. I ain't drinking almost 11 years.
You just substituted.
When's the last time you had nicotine?
Listen, I ain't smoked a cigarette in months. And that's the last thing we're going to say
he
about
didn't
that.
ask you about cigarettes. He said nicotine.
Jordan.
Next question.
Next question.
No, I'm going to answer this.
No, you don't have to.
No, I use 2 milligram nicotine pouches, and I use them to quit smoking cigarettes. Because I was smoking a pack and a half of Marlboro Reds a day. Yeah.
Marlboro Reds.
Cowboy killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless, son.
I feel a whole lot better, and I'm thankful that the Lord has helped me to quit smoking cigarettes.
Well, you're still ugly, but I'm glad you feel better.
You got to work on the inside.
I don't get convicted about these nicotine pouches. But
Amen. You shouldn't.
If I do, I'll have to stop it. I don't plan on doing it forever, but
They
go good with my coffee.
Yeah. That other voice y'all heard is Donnie Smith's back with us.
Donnie Smith.
Donnie.
God bless.
Donnie and me talked about this, and a little bit of nicotine's good for you, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah. That's what my wife told me, too. And I believe everything she says.
So what got me thrown off with Donnie Smith is when he said you felt like you should shine a light on him and ask him questions. Donnie Smith's an old GSP guy.
I mean, I'm just looking at Dan over here. The chin,
his lip is
lips
quivering.
Trembling. Yeah,
I'm starting to calm down a
He's
little bit.
visibly shaking.
he's sitting
Put 2 or 3 of them nicotine things in.
Yeah.
Look, the first time me and Dan ever hung out was when we took all them picnic tables up to, Asheville?
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, I ain't much of a talker, so I ain't going to say nothing this whole ride. I was like, brother, we got a long ride. We're going to have to fix that.
Yeah.
Jordan said once he started, he didn't shut up. Yeah, about that ride, Dan calls me. He says, hey, man, I got to build these picnic tables for this lady in North Carolina. Can I build them in the shop? I was like, yeah, how you going to get them up there? He's like, well, I was going to ask if you'd take them up there for me. I said, yeah, I'll help you take them up there. Never tells me a date. He calls me one day. He's like, hey, we're going to take them tables today. I was like, I can't today, bro. You didn't tell me. So Jordan was kind enough to
you was out of town. That was, I think that was when you went to Washington.
Well, I mean, he gave you a few minutes of preparation. You couldn't work that out.
5 minutes. Like, hey, we're loading up to go to North Carolina.
Well,
Are you coming? No.
There was a lot of variables there. I had to make sure the date. We could only deliver them on a Monday because that's when the restaurants closed.
Yeah. So they don't need tables the other 6 days of the week.
Hey, listen, I'm not much of a joker.
You ain't much of a fox, but you got the hat on.
This ain't gonna go good for you.
Well, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself, Dan.
He's getting aggressive now.
Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Dan.
Daniel Montana. I hail from upstate New York. I moved to North Carolina 14 years ago, and I moved here a year ago. My wife is Amber Montana. I'm 43 years old.
How many kids you got?
Amber, well, altogether there's 4 kids. We got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Cool deal. What's the ages?
They're all old now. They're getting old.
That's because you're old.
Easy.
Taylor is 20. Joey is 20. And Memphis is 17. And Carson is 18.
Awesome.
2 boys, 2 girls. And we kind of like, when we got together, we kind of like the Brady Bunch.
That's right.
Minus 2. But yeah. Yep.
It's the Brady Bunch.
I'm a preacher and I'm a carpenter.
He's a good carpenter.
He's a pretty good preacher, too.
I enjoy going to Bible college. I'm a Bible student over at Victory. And yeah, and I am a little bit nervous.
He is a good preacher. A really good
I
one.
try. I give the Lord all
Every
the
time
glory
they
for
put
that.
a mic in his hand, he does pretty good.
Yeah, man, don't be nervous. Just act like you're standing behind the pulpit right now.
you go.
How do
Right.
you not nervous stand up and preach
Yeah, I
God's
mean, I
word,
don't,
but
I
you
don't get
nervous in here
doing
with
that
us?
anymore.
Speaking of which, a carpenter, so he actually made a pulpit for Seth.
Yeah,
And that
did.
thing is fantabulous.
and that was
Looks great.
a big deal for me because I wasn't far out of prison, and that's a whole other thing I'm sure we'll get into. But I just started coming back to church and stuff and getting with everybody, and Seth asked me to do that, and I thought, I mean, I prayed over that, and I felt it so privileged to be able to do that, and I was thankful to have an opportunity to serve the Lord. So yeah, I'm glad they were happy and it come out good.
Yeah, that thing looks real good.
It does look good.
Yeah, that's what solidified your position here at Clark Home Services.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It
actually is.
They said, Dan Montana built that. I said, what kind of name is that?
And that's just
He don't play football?
Joe Montana.
and that's actually that's how the Lord works though.
That's right.
Because I had that opportunity and built that thing, and then Seth asked me to give my testimony to the young adults, and then I met Aaron that night, and he seen that pulpit, so he knew I was a carpenter. And a couple weeks later, we had lunch, and he gave me a job, and that's a whole nother answered prayer because I was trying to figure out how I was going to go to Bible college full time, and I was working a little bit for myself, but it was stressing me out a lot because I'm new in this area, and I didn't have no good help, and I didn't want to deal with having to try to run my own business and go to Bible college and stuff like that. I just wanted to swing my hammer to make enough money to afford to pay for Bible college and get focused on that.
Yeah.
And Aaron's made a way for that, so I'm very thankful
Now
for
the
him.
Lord made a way.
Yes,
Aaron
sir.
just facilitated it.
Yep.
And here we are. Now you're on the podcast. You're in here shaking like a cat on a tin roof.
I'm starting.
Suffering from a hernia.
It's getting, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Jordan, here we go.
Listen, I don't know who's going to take my phone calls today if I got to work this board.
Who's calling you? Oh, that's
Connor.
not work.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it. Well, let's go ahead and jump in it. You had mentioned prison, so go ahead and tell us about that. How you got there?
Well,
What happened?
tell us first about your upbringing and all. Like, just start from when you were a kid and just.
Well, like I said, I'm a carpenter, and I've been a carpenter for over 20 years now. My dad is a carpenter, and he was in the Navy Seabees during Vietnam, and Dad built bases, and he got out of that and ended up in a roofers union in upstate New York. So, anyways, every weekend I'd go work with Dad and do whatever I could. And shoot, when I was 6, 7 years old, he had me using a skill saw and laying shingles on the weekends. And you see, that was back when kids loved to be with their dad and work.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how I come up. And the people think I'm from New York. I'm from the city, but I'm from upstate New York, and we pretty redneck up there
You're still a Yankee.
in a Yankee kind of way. Yeah,
You're a Yankee redneck.
yeah. So I grew up shoveling snow, splitting firewood, and throwing hay bales in the summer, laying shingles with my dad anytime I could, building picnic tables.
Yeah. Shelves, cabinets.
Yep. And
Bookshelves.
going to church. Daddy raised us in church, had a good Christian home. 3 older sisters. I was a baby.
We can tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
My sister's still 8. I'm a mama's boy, for sure.
Miss Amber definitely told me you're the baby of the family because you still act like a baby.
Yeah, she babies me. I get sick, and she takes good care of me. But yeah, that was my upbringing. It was I can't blame none of the things I ended up in, or that was all me.
Yeah.
Daddy raised me right, taught me right, and I made my own foolish choices.
So at what age did you start making those bad decisions? I know you've told me that you wasn't in the Hells Angels, but you rode a motorcycle and hung out with them a lot, and was in the biker scene up there.
Yeah, that was so teenage years. I was rebellious. I get in fights in high school and stuff, and I mean, I come up pretty hard nosed, I guess you would say, or maybe redneck or hard nosed or whatever. If you had to handle something, you handled it. And that's how Daddy taught me. And so I would get in trouble and stuff for fighting and stuff like that, but I never get in trouble at home for it. Daddy'd be like, "Well, did you win?"
That's right.
And but then I start drinking and stuff like that, and I quit the basketball team, and I started heading down and hanging out with a crowd that I probably shouldn't have started hanging around with, and I stopped going to church with Mom and Dad, but I wasn't, how do I say this? I wasn't not working and stuff like that. Like, I graduated high school and I started my own business right away, and the Lord blessed me with a lot of work. Had a good business going, but I would drink and party and things like that, like heavily drink. And so, and I wasn't seeking the Lord, wasn't looking for the Lord in any way. But as I look back, I can see how his hand was upon my life, because even then there were situations that I shouldn't have lived through, truck wrecks and things like that. But it never really became an issue or thing until I began to. I got my first DWI. I drove my truck into the district attorney's office, and that's
like into
story.
The building.
Yep.
Well, that's one way.
Was that like on purpose, or
it was kind of half and half?
Okay.
I was real drunk.
There's got to be something.
I was real drunk, and I thought I was on top of the world, and I had a little more money than anybody else that was my age, and my business was good. So I had this brand new truck, had my name on the side of it, got real drunk, and the truck got away from me. The roads were wet, but I also knew it was the district attorney. It went in.
Hey, I'm headed to that building.
That turbo on that diesel kicked in, one thing went to the other, and I was in the front porch. It rolled into the front porch and smashed the whole front porch and the front door and the front window. And
did you fix it afterwards?
I went to the man. Well, that was the thing. Daddy was like, listen, the next day he was like, you need to go to that man and offer to fix that and apologize to him. And I was like 27 years old. And I was like, okay. And I did, but he didn't want nothing to do with it. He was like, insurance going to take care of that. Thanks, Mr. Montana.
I'm coming after you.
Yeah. And it wasn't long after that. It was like a downward spiral. I began to drink more, and I got another DUI. And then I bought my first Harley, and I loved that thing. That was a 72 Ironhead, and did a lot of work to it, learned how to ride it, learned how to work on it, and I learned how to ride it by riding with a guy named Donnie. He was with the HAs from out of Troy, North Carolina, or Troy, New York, in that chapter. And so yeah, I would roll with them and ride with them and do a lot of bar fighting with them. And
so basically, you were a hangout with them.
Yeah, that's what they call it, a hang around. Yeah, and they learned a lot of bad habits. And but Joey was born, and he was about the age of getting to play a little soccer and stuff like that. And when I was getting serious about prospecting and serious about joining and stuff, I came to the realization, I'll just say this, that when it comes to Joey's soccer game or Joey's anything, if Joey's in the hospital or something happens, or the club always come first, before anything else. And I wasn't willing to put that before family.
Yeah.
And yeah. And Joey came from a 9, by the way, to back up a little bit, Joey came from a 9-month marriage that I had.
A 9-month marriage?
Yeah. I got married to a girl that I shouldn't have never married her. Daddy told me not to marry her, but I mean, she's Joey's mama, and I love her in the aspect that she's Joey's mama.
Yeah.
So where are we at?
Your story, you tell it.
Yeah.
So I stopped hanging around with them guys, and I got away from that. And but the drinking continued, and cocaine. You know, anybody that's ever drank much knows that kind of cocaine follows, because nobody wants to be hungover. So, you know, you do a little cocaine in the morning, and it got worse and worse, and I got more trouble. I ended up with I had 40 DUIs up there, and thankfully I never went to prison, but I had 4 different DUIs up there, and what it come down to was the judge was like, okay, Montana, because it was a small town, and they knew me, and I had a sister in North Carolina. My middle sister, her name's Stacy. She is a school teacher in North Carolina. And my lawyer was like, so he can move out of the state. And that's what he wants to do. And the judge was like, you got 24 hours. If you get out of here and don't come back, we're good. And that's how that went. That's how much
packing.
That's how much trouble I was causing and how bad they wanted me gone.
He just wanted you gone.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, sir, I'm leaving tonight.
Well, see, you're at the age a lot of times they used to do when you get to court. You know, you got 2 choices. I can send you away for this time, or you can join the military.
Yeah. Yeah. And
but he just let you skate free and go to a different state.
Yeah, it was kind of, I mean, I did, there were consequences. I did a drug court program up there, alcohol court or whatever, for 18 months. But I drank the whole time I was on it. And I did.
Donnie tried the whole thing when he couldn't.
And
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was. Well, you see, I lived out in the middle of nowhere in the courthouse. Well, like 40 minutes to us. So it was only the investigator would come by once every Saturday morning to breathalyze me. So I knew when he was coming, you know. And if I was going to blow dirty and breathalyze, I just didn't answer the door. And you know,
so you never answered the door.
The only time I could have gotten caught is if he came late at night, you know?
Right.
And because then you have to answer the door during certain times.
Because you got to be there.
But he wouldn't get there till after 9 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, I was allowed to leave my house. So, yeah, I just play like I wasn't there if it was like that.
House arrest.
But yeah, and I remember through that period, I would try to go to church. And I would try to do right, but listen, just be honest. Up there in New York, you got a lot of dead churches.
Yeah.
And I grew up in church, but I didn't really understand the Holy Spirit. And thank God he understood me.
Amen.
Right.
And he had a plan and knew what was going on, but it didn't interest me a lot, because church up there is like you don't chew gum, don't say a word, nobody says amen. You go in there and be quiet, and
right.
It's real. A lot of the teachers / preachers that I grew up listening to were just real teachy and honestly just boring.
Right.
Monotone, hard to listen to for a kid, you know.
I mean, you know, it's not just New York; it's everywhere. I struggle with that when I was coming up. You know, my testimony during my time on the podcast, I got saved when I was 15, but it was the church I was going to was like that. You know, there was no emotion, no. You know, there was no anything.
Right.
And I'm not looking for a show, but I'm looking to be, you know, captivated with it. And man, you know, and then Erica brought me to Larry Brown. It was like,
well, where'd this cat come from?
What just happened? You know?
Yeah.
And then CT, I know you can't clone a human, but
yeah,
if you could.
Well, you can get excited for life things or human things. Why can't you get excited for the Lord?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but you know, it's like Dan said, you know, he was going through his struggles outside of, you know, parallels, trying to do the right thing, but also in the wrong crowd. And, you know, that temptation, man, especially when you take your time and go sit in a church somewhere where it's not interactive or it's not captivating your attention, you're like, man, I could be somewhere else doing this.
Yeah. Every single relative, friend I had, everybody except for my dad and my sisters, obviously, was a drunk, you know. And I still love some of them guys. My cousins live up there, and every once in a while I'll call them and check in with them, talk to them a little bit. But I mean, serious alcoholics, and you know, but tough. They're tough boys. I mean, they're not lazy. I mean, they grow up. A couple of my cousins are Masons, and so
they're functioning alcoholics.
Oh yeah, but drink daylight to dark.
Yeah,
but work hard and play hard, and that's, you know, what I kind of grew up doing. And the Lord, there was always something in me that would not allow me to go that too far, I guess, really. Like, and it's like, well, what's too far? But there were always some things like, no, I ain't doing that, bro. I ain't messing with that. And alcohol, cocaine, but even the cocaine, I would get real down on myself about doing it and stuff. And that didn't last long. I was able to set that down pretty easily. But anyway, so I ended up down south because I was getting in too much trouble in upstate New York, basically, and needed to start over. And I remember I sat and I talked to my family about it before I left. And I broke down and I cried and I was like, I'm hurting people I love. You know, I know that alcohol it's taking over.
Right.
And I can't control it. And maybe a move, maybe a change, maybe a new environment will help me. And that's a lot of it. People, places, and things they talk about. And I don't know a lot about AA and stuff. I know they talk about that. And
change your surroundings.
Yeah. So I moved to North Carolina and I went about 30, 40 days without drinking. I got a job at like this pizzeria. And I got another job bouncing at this other, like a bar type of restaurant place. And I would work both them jobs, but it wasn't much money compared to what I was used to doing construction, my own business and stuff. But I was just kind of, starting over. And I was 28 years old when I moved there. And it was going okay, but still not really seeking the Lord or not. I remember my mama said to me, she said, Daniel, you need to pray. You need to talk to the Lord. You need to seek the Lord. And I said, why would God do anything for me? I've never done anything for him. And that's kind of where my head was at. And I thought I had to do everything on my own. And it was going well, but of course I'd go back to drinking here and there and different things. And I guess really just to fast forward a little bit, what really changed my life was in the end of 2011, Dr. L. Sexton was having a revival, a winter revival, they call it, at Trinity in Asheville. And the guy I was living with, him and me was drinking a lot. I was working, but, not living how we should. And his mother came over that night. It was a Monday night, and she got out of revival. Her name was Susie, and she's gone home to heaven now. But I thank God for the people that the Lord sent by. Sent by my way.
Absolutely.
And she come home that night, and I remember we were, feeling hungover or whatever, me and my buddy, and that was his mama. And she said, you guys have got to come hear this preacher. And she told us all about what he preached and taught about, and it was CT. And we were like, okay, we'll go. So Tuesday night, we went there, and I'd never seen anything like it. Because I grew up in church. Because I'm like, this is just another church service. And buddy, he was letting it rip. And Miss Becky was singing beautiful. And, when they were young then, not too old now. Not too old now, bro.
He said you're old, Becky.
I didn't mean that like that. And I was young too. I mean, I was 29 years old. And I remember he preached on Achan and things in the tent and what's in your tent, because Achan was, the children of Israel was winning the battles and they started to lose the battles. And it was because Achan had taken what the Lord told him not to take. It was cursed. And he put that curse in his tent, and it caused a curse on all of Israel, and they began to lose the battles. So preacher and CT were like, what's in your tent? And I remember heading down that aisle to hit that altar. And I tell this in my testimony. I believe the Lord saved me before I ever got to that altar.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You gave it up when you decided to stand up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember I hit the altar. All I could do was weep and say, I'm sorry, because I saw him for how big and how holy and how high he is, and me for how insignificant I am. And I knew that I needed him.
Well, you stop running and you submit.
Yeah. And so that's how I ended up at Trinity, and Dr. Rel being my pastor and CT being my buddy. And so I got saved there, and that revival that wasn't just a 3-day like revival. That really was revival. It went on for about a month, and we went to church every night. And there were nights that CT had to go preach other meetings, but Dr. Ralph would preach. And by the time that revival was over, God called me to preach. And I didn't really know what that looked like. And I didn't announce my call to preach or nothing like that. I wasn't even sure what it meant. All I knew is all I could think about was the Lord. All I could think about was preaching and wanting to know more and getting in that book and wanting to help people. And I sat down with Dr. Ralph one night after church, and he said, he helped me understand that the Lord was calling me to preach. And he put me in Bible college, and I started classes in the evenings like 2 days later. And so the Lord really worked that out. I knew I was in the will of God. But at the same time, I was still kind of young and foolish. As I look back now with some of the, and I went to Bible college for 2 years. I met Amber. We got married, and she was an answered prayer for sure. But you see, what happened was I was preaching at the jail. I would preach every Sunday morning at a county jail. And then I would go to Sunday school, and then I would go to church, and then I'll go to church that evening. And then I was in Bible college Monday and Tuesday night. I was in church Wednesday night, Bible college Thursday night. The only day I wasn't in church was Fridays.
Right. And
I was doing the best I could to serve the Lord, and CT would call me up, and I'd go places with him to preach, and he was my friend.
Right.
And I looked up to him, and Dr. Ralph would help me in so many ways looking back now that I didn't realize it now. And I guess all I had to say about that, I really wish that I knew what I had when I had it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because so much looking back, so much wisdom and so many things that he taught me and said to me come back to my remembrance now. And I'm thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that, man, in my life. So because Amber and me got married, and I was preaching, and Dr. Ralph encouraged me to go to the local radio station. And I wasn't planning on talking about this, but
here we go.
But I mean, I might as well just get it out there. I went to the local radio station, and they were going to put me on the radio to preach and do an interview and stuff. Cause Doc was like, that's how I got started and got out. Cause I was like, how am I supposed to get, cause Trinity at that time didn't have there wasn't a big Bible college like at Victory now. And there wasn't like a big young adult group that I could get, like I could help out with and do things. And there wasn't a lot of opportunities coming my way. And also I was pretty shy and didn't know how to go about, I want to help out, but where do I go? What do I do? So Doc told me to do that. And I went over to the radio station, and I remember it was Sherathon. And I spent a week over there with men I looked up to and loved as preachers. And the guy that ran the radio station, I won't say his name, but what it come down to was, they made me a lot of promises and encouraged me and everything. But then when I wrote on the application that I was married, but I had to be honest and say that I was married years ago for 9 months and divorced. And that was when it started.
Right.
And I got shunned, and, not by Dr. Ralph. I want to be clear about that.
Right.
But a couple of these other guys, and not even in a way that but in a way that really discouraged me, because no one would even call me back. And what was, we love you, Brother Dan. We're going to do this for you. God's got his hand on you. God's going to use you. I mean, and talk about listening to me preaching, but God, you got an anointing, to nothing.
That's something that aggravates the ever living mess out of me, is that a lot of these people that are supposed to be big spiritual people will get up there and say all those things, God's got you. But the moment they find out you got a past,
right?
Yeah,
they cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm thankful that the Lord didn't do that to us, because we all got a past.
Yeah,
the Lord don't remember it no more.
Yeah,
and if He don't remember it no more, we shouldn't.
Right.
If He saved you and He's called you to do something, you should be able to do whatever He's telling you to do. That's just a human nature that we let a lot.
Man puts their own thoughts in there. I mean, look at the 12 disciples, right? I mean, if you're trying to pick the best of the best and the holy of the holy, you're not picking none of them cats.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. Do a little reading and go back and find out about them. Yeah.
Right. So
Drunks
you've
and
got to
murderers.
have something
Paul was
there.
killing Christians.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for listening, and remember, the smoke may settle, but the embers stay lit. This was the Gunpowder, Propane, and Jesus podcast. Stay tuned for the next part of this episode.